Are you a gamer or are you a collector? I think that's a question we've all had to ask ourselves numerous times throughout our lives as we accumulate more and more things to add into what are essentially collections. What's going on, everybody? Jay here. Today I'm answering a question I've seen asked numerous times on Twitter, as well as kind of responding to a video that a channel I follow, Lightsaber Samurai, answered earlier in the week in a video of his own. Link to that video is up here. Be sure to check his channel out. He does awesome work. So today I'm going to try to answer that question. Am I a gamer or am I a collector? And I think that's kind of a loaded question at the end of the day, because I'm both, really, right? I think we all are. But we're all different things for different reasons. Like, I collect games because I love them. I've always loved games, and I have some regrets. A friend of mine, Corey, calls losing things that he's collected in the past as losing them in the flood. And I think we've all been through that in our lives. You know, in my 20s, when times were a little bit tougher and I didn't have the disposable income I have now, I had to sell some stuff in order to keep rent going or be able to feed my kid or anything like that, you know? And it was tough, it was hard, but it was for a good reason. The things were let go for necessity. So a lot of that has been buying things to re-add them to my collection or to get them back to where I feel that they belong. And that's kind of how I go about buying things. I don't tend to just buy games for the sake of buying games. I don't buy things just to have them. Like, I don't add games to my collection just because, hey, it would look cool if X was on my shelf. Now, I say that, but in some cases, there are definitely some things I have bought just because I thought they looked cool. For example, my Space Invaders arcade 1-up. I definitely added that because I thought it would look great on my shelf. Not the hugest Space Invaders fan. Not to say I don't like the game. I think it's brilliant. It's definitely something that changed the industry for the better. But it's not my favorite of the games that were offered on the arcade 1-up cabinets. This was one that I just happened to find at Meijer for dirt cheap. And I was like, well, you know what? I'm not going to pass that opportunity up. So yeah, that one came home and is on my shelf because it looks cool. There's some other ones like that as well. The Toki Retrolector collection. I wasn't a huge fan of Toki as a kid. I like it a lot more now than I did then, but I bought that game sight unseen. My friend at GameStop gave me a call and said, hey, the guy who pre-ordered this decided not to pick it up. Would you want to add it to your stuff? Yeah, absolutely. It looks really cool. And hey, why not add a neat Toki-themed arcade cabinet that I can set the tablet for my Switch in and play along with it, right? And I've been guilty of it in other cases as well. Back when the PS4 was doing special editions for their consoles, I ended up getting the Uncharted 4 one because I love Uncharted so much. It's one of my favorite series of games. And it was something I held on to for a long time, despite the fact that that system did nothing but give me trouble. It was full of problems from jump. It was something that was just unbelievably frustrating. The database had to be rebuilt constantly. So when I traded it in for the most stock model PS4 you could possibly get. The white PS4 Pro. It looks like a wedding cake. But there's nothing exciting about it. It's not a collector's edition. It does what it needs to do. It plays games. And that's pretty much what I'm here for. Now, with that said, I'm not immune to the lure of collector's editions. I have, as you're seeing here now, I have this Xbox 360 Star Wars edition that I saved and scrimped for years, and I've still got to this day. I've got my Hyrule Edition 3DS XL. I've got my NES model GBA SP. These are things that I wanted that I added to my collection. But for the most part, I tend to go with the normal editions of games. And I won't lie, I understand the irony of this video coming out right after I just completed my big Switch collection. There's definitely some games in there that to me don't mean much that I've still got in my collection. Now, I've still got them because in most cases I can't get rid of them. Most people don't want them, or GameStop doesn't have them in their system, so I can't trade them in. Games like Ghost Parade, for example. Not a game I love, not a game I want to hang on to, but I'm kind of stuck with it because there's no way for me to trade it in, and no one in their right mind wants to buy it. If you do, my email's in the link below. But my whole life, I've been a collector at heart, you know? I used to collect toys and comics and books and baseball cards and hockey jerseys and hats and Funko Pops and all kinds of stuff. If it could be collected, chances are I collected it because there was just something about wanting to have those material goods in my possession to hold on to for as long as I could. And I still love collecting, I won't lie to you. I still like being able to find something, the thrill of the hunt, like going out and finding something I want in the wild to add to my collection. That's a feeling that can't be beat. But at the same time, the older I get, the more I realize I don't need those things. I don't need to have them in my collection. I don't need to weigh myself down with these objects. So over the last couple of years, I've kind of given up on collecting a lot of things. I don't buy comics anymore. I don't really buy toys anymore. It's very rare for me to buy a toy. It's stuff that kind of excites me now, like my G.I. Joe collection. Those are things, G.I. Joe meant so much to me as a kid that I wasn't going to pass that up in these brand new, highly detailed 6-inch figure forms. I've only got 10 of the figures now from that line that have been released. I'm not going to go crazy hunting down the crazy Cobra Island variants that are Target exclusives that no one can ever find. I'm happy with what I have. I'm happy with what I've found, and that's good enough for me. But at the same time, I'm not afraid to pre-order a game to make sure that I get the specific edition of something that I want to add to my collection. I'm the guy that took time off of work to make sure that I was able to be online when the Shantae and the Seven Sirens Collector's Edition went on sale through Limited Run Games, because I didn't want to miss out on it. And that's not a complaint, mind you. This is something that brought me joy. It brought me happiness. These are things that I have added to my life that make me happy. But there's a catch-22 involved with collecting, because collecting involves time, and time collecting means time away from gaming. And at the end of the day, gaming is what brought me here. I've always loved gaming. I started gaming when I was 5 years old. The first time I played a game was Atari Football on my cousin's 2600, and he worked me over, man. Like, Greg he tore me up because he knew how to play, and I'd never played a game before, so this was all new and all different to me. I was blown away by what this represented. A year later, I had my ColecoVision, and a year after that, I had my NES. And that game of Atari Football with my cousin Greg is what brought me here today. Is what made me the lover of video games I am today, and why I love gaming. And despite all of that, despite the hundreds of games you see up here, the 100+ Switch games I've got over on the other shelf, all of my Wii, Wii U, PS4, Xbox One, Series X, PS5, DS, 3DS, Game Boy Advance, and Game Boy games. Despite all of that, despite this massive pile of useless technology that I have, this massive stack of things that are just taking up space in my room, in my life, these things give me joy and give me the ability to say, yeah, damn it, I am a gamer. I am a gamer before I'm a collector. Because at the end of the day, if I only had one game, if all I had was Super Mario Brothers, I'd be playing Super Mario Brothers. Because I love games. Games are important. Games are what brought me here. Games are what gave me my son. This is a weird personal video, and I'm sorry about that, but it's true. If I didn't have the game industry, I probably would have never had Victor. Because of the game industry, I was able to have him. Because of the game industry, Meredith and I were able to have a kid. I worked in the industry at the time, and the insurance I got through EA paid for his birth. Paid for the first year of his life, basically. And without them, without my love of games, without playing Atari Football when I was 5 years old, I wouldn't have that little dude upstairs who I love more than anything in the world. And there was a time where I didn't consider myself a gamer. When I got out of the game industry, I was bitter, I was jaded, I was angry. I was upset that I felt like I got cast aside. Which is why when I got out of the industry, I stopped playing games almost altogether. I just put them down. I needed time away. I needed games to be special again, and they weren't special to me for a long time. They are now. And I love them. I love being able to talk to you guys about games. I love being able to tell you what games mean to me and what games are important to me, and share with you my love of weird, obscure games that you may have never heard of, or games that you've heard of a million times over and go, yeah, no, we know Super Mario Odyssey is great, Jay, we get it. I know you guys get it. I know you understand it because you guys are gamers too. You understand what makes games great, and you understand what brings us all to this hobby. At the end of the day, there's nothing better than playing a multiplayer game with a friend on the couch, or being able to chat with them over a headset online, to be able to share that joy of games together, because we are gamers. Yeah, we collect things, yeah, we add things to our collection, we fill up shelves with useless games that we may only play once. But I mean, at the end of the day, if a friend of mine comes over and says, man, you know what, I really want to play Street Fighter Alpha 3, I haven't played that in years, I can go grab that off my shelf, throw it into the PS2, put it on the HD TV, and we can sit down and we can fight. And we'll have a blast doing it. Games have given me so much. If I were to call myself just a collector, it would be a disservice to something that has meant the world to me throughout my entire life. I'm a gamer. I'm happy to be a gamer. I love them. Games mean more to me than most things. I think you're a gamer too. Thanks for watching the video today. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to give it a thumbs up down below. And if you're new to the channel and want to see me do more nonsense like this, please be sure to subscribe, as well as ring the notification bell so you can stay up to date with everything I've got going on. Till next time, guys, I have been Jay. I appreciate you spending a little bit of time with me as I talk and ramble for 10 minutes, or however long this video is going to be. Till next time, be sure to play more games, stay square, and take care. I'll talk to you soon.